Good Monday evening to you, everyone. How are you? It's good to see you. It's good to be seen by you. I, of course, am the one and only Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, coming to you live, loud and clear on a Monday evening. Atomic FX, Rob Turner, Clark Witten, Gonzalo, Bob Schultz, great old ones, the Dungeon Minister. We have got the lineup out there in the audience tonight, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Yes, you did not hear any opening music, and there will not be any opening music until I can get opening music. So you'll just have to settle for the B-roll credits. Summer Mountains is, as the Germans say, nicht Gewehr, which of course, if you know your German, it means it's not Gewehr. And that is how it's going to be until I could someday take ownership of that song fully and completely. I can't. I can't. I don't want to drag anybody into a bunch of drama. But there's simply not a solution to the Summer Mountains thing. I get hit multiple times a day by the song owning company. And I have to contest all of them. And then they go into 30 days of contesting. So any monetization on my literally over 1,000 live streams is completely blocked. I got demand on the Gary interview, which is one of the most popular uploads I have on my channel. And I just deleted the song completely from that so I could keep it monetized. I make pennies doing what I do here on the channel. I make absolutely pennies. But let me tell you about the times that I've paid bills and bought groceries with a jar full of pennies before. So all I can do for stuff in the past is just contest it. Because this started like 7 or 8 days ago, maybe 10. And I got referral letters from or a referral letter from Bards of Greyhawk to put through the contesting system. CD Baby will not whitelist the song. They don't do it. They state matter-of-factly in an email to the Bards of Greyhawk, we do not provide whitelisting. So you will just have to contest it every time you use it. Every time it comes up, it'll have to go in. And they have no incentive to hurry up and get this done, to immediately turn around and release a hold within X number of days. None whatsoever. They have zero reason to help me in the least. So in light of that, going forward, I won't use the song. And anything in the past, I'll just contest until they stop. They run out of videos to demonetize. It's going to be a horrible process. It's going to be a horrible process. Because again, I make a little bit of money here and there from this. That's not why I do this, but good God, does it help. So I can't unless I owned that song. I mean, I owned that song. Like it's mine, and I rip it out of CD Baby's hands. There's nothing I can do except stop using it forever. It hurts my heart. I love the Bards of Greyhawk. We get along great. I just didn't think they were going to add this to their music catalog and then upload it to CD Baby's CMS. I didn't. And there you go, Gonzalo. They're owned by VMG, which is part of UMG. So I literally might as well go outside and try and fist fight a thunderstorm as do anything other than this. So this is not some little tiny business that stamps out CDs with like a SCSI CD burning tower at 25 a batch for bands. They're an organ of a mega corporation that would make William Gibson blush. Thank you, Atomic FX. I really appreciate that. I really do. I don't know, Damien, and I wouldn't ask them for that much. They wrote the song, they composed the song, they rehearsed the song, they spent time in the studio, they paid for studio time, they drove there, they took time away from other projects to do it. I would not insult them by asking them to sell it to me for $10. No, thank you, Clark. I appreciate it. And people have said, oh, well, why don't you do why don't you do hey Doc Flamingo, why don't you do like that copyright free music? You can get that on YouTube. I don't trust YouTube any farther than I could throw my car. YouTube is an absolute enemy to small creators. They actively act against small creators on YouTube. They do everything they can to stop small creators from getting traction. They throw constant roadblocks down. They obfuscate, they change rules, they demoralize, they discourage. I'm not doing this with YouTube's help. I'm doing this in spite of YouTube. And spite is about all I have. So, you know, you use YouTube's copyright free music so they can just yank it away or institute some rule saying, we're going to take part of your monetization, by the way, that you're buying our music service. About all I could think to do. The song is called Summer Mountains, Gonzalo. Summer Mountains. About all I could think to do would be to go and use generative AI. But the problem with that is if it plays a sequence of notes, because remember, thank you, Doc Flamingo. I appreciate that. Doc Flamingo says, screw the bastards. If it plays a progression of notes that trips the CMS, I'm right back where I started. Because remember, it learns by listening to other bands. If I go in and I say, I want this, it's going to suck down elements of all the things I tell it that I want. And I might get a nice chunk of Allman Brothers or Led Zeppelin or you know, whoever in there, Pink Floyd, Dan Fogelberg, something like that. And then Google's AI goes, aha, that's comfortably numb. That's what is and what should never be. That's you know, that's Ramblin' Man. That's we just disagree. And then I'm right back where I was. So I can't I can't really do anything about it. Bye, Rob. So we find ourselves here. And I did not come here to bitch about the copyrighted music. That was my way of explaining why you guys don't hear anything. I put a fair amount of effort into making my B-roll for the opening credits. And what I found last week when I just wasn't using it when I was going live, it really threw me off my game. If you go and you watch any of the videos I did, any of the live streams I did last week, I felt I felt like I sounded out of sorts. Like I felt like I was stumbling over myself because I didn't have that 40 seconds of mental prep time. So it was very off-putting, very strange. So I said, you know what? Screw it. And I grabbed my opening credits and I dropped it into Filmora and I just Control C, Control X with the entire audio cut. So you guys can still see it. There's just no music over it. If it's a little weird and off-putting to you, I can't really help you. Let's talk about good things that are going on. Do you guys want to just jump straight into mail call? Because I do, because I got something really cool to show y'all. 95 in Oklahoma. You can go back to about 3 weeks ago and watch the intro to any one of my live streams. I'm not being a smart ass Gonzalo. It sounds like acoustic guitar to me. Maybe there's like acoustic guitar and mandolin. It's actually not been that hot. It's like upper 80s, lower 90s down here in Florida. We've had like miserably hot days. But we've had some days like when it's been overcast all day and there's been a breeze and it's been like, yeah, this isn't horrible. I think as we get further into July and into August, yeah, I mean, we call that the mean season for a reason here in Florida. Because that's when things get swampy. And I'll tell you guys real quick. Rob Kuntz made the mistake of moving to Florida for a very brief period of time. He moved over to Satellite Beach, Florida, to retire. He moved here in September. He lived here for a month. He picked the wrong time to come here. So, anyway, let's talk about cool stuff. I got something really awesome in the mail. Yes, I did. I haven't had a good mail call, I think, since Doc Flamingo sent his stuff. We're going to have Doc on the show, by the way, and talk about his RPG, which is up over on the shelf over yonder. It's blurry because wide angle lens fuckery, but and I can drop an F-bomb. I got a super. But it's up over there. But yeah, so it's nice to get mail call cool stuff. Jury summons. No, not a jury summons. My daughter got a jury summons. She was sweating bullets, poor kid. She's 22 and she's like, oh, what do I do? I'm gonna have a panic attack. They're gonna arrest me for contempt of court. I'm like, honey, you're probably not gonna get picked. And like, she called that morning, and in the morning they're like, yep, you got to be here tomorrow morning, 7:00, bright and early, dress business casual, and she's like, what do I do? I was like, honey, it's going to be okay. And then we called in the afternoon and they were like, thank you for your service. Your services are no longer required. So she's out for a year now. Good for her. I actually last March, I can't remember if I told you guys this, I made it all the way into the courtroom, into the jury pool selection. And they were asking us questions. And I guess I answered in a way they didn't like because I didn't get picked. I got my $15 gift card from the state. And as the courthouse was not very far from my house. Like 3 miles. I walked home. Those of you who know where I live, I basically just doxed myself. But yeah, I just legged it home. It was a nice spring day. And yeah, I stopped at a place, got some lunch. But anyhow, god dang it, you guys. Let's talk about what we got in the mail. People over on X who don't know me, and by the way, if you're watching us over on X, say hi. I will see your chats. If you're watching over on YouTube, super chat. I'm kidding, of course. So a few years back, I had the inestimable John Popson, who is a miniature sculptor. He does effing cool minis. I met him at GaryCon in 2018, and he had some fabulous miniatures up there. And I bought one. And then I hoped to see him in 2023, but his table wasn't up. He was on the roster, but his table wasn't up, and that was kind of disappointing. But no, JP got rockets. You sent it to the wrong house. So I've had John on a couple of times. Well, John and a buddy of his are working on a game together. And his buddy, Kenan James, is an absolutely amazing artist. And I've had Kenan and John on to talk about their projects. And Kenan sent me one of my favorite things in the world. You guys know how I go on about my art bookshelf. I think that's what I got here from Kenan. Let's go ahead and open it up. As you can see, plain brown box, black tape to prevent the doxing. And let's take a look at it. And yes, this book is simply called Monsters by Kenan James. And it is full of some absolute bangers. Now, it's not a game book per se. It is just an art portfolio. I want to go on record as saying the page I'm about to show you guys, I literally just flipped it random to, but it is now my favorite drawing in the book. It is a Demon Type 5. It's not a fetish. What else do we have in here? We have a pretty cool looking Type 6 there. Hey, John Popson hanging out in the audience. Good to see you, brother. We have some lemurs. Not lemurs, by the way. This book is really great. Orcus and his lesser known dumber brother Malorcus. Exactly. Kenan, hey, how are you? I'm a little disappointed though, Kenan. I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, Gary on. Gary on my wayward son. Uh-oh, I just got content matched. I wanted an autograph, brother. I wanted an autograph, man. Which just means we'll have to get together over a beer and have you sign it. Bone Devil. What the Paladin's fighting in A Paladin in Hell. It's in there? Is it? First, okay. Aha! See, this was covering it up. The card was covering it up. So it is. right there. This is going to go on the shelf of glory with my art books by Matt Rhodes, with my art books by Soriyama, with my art books by Vollejo, with my art books by Regis Malone, Chris Foss. Yeah, this is going to sit over here. I'll move some of that stuff, some print on demand, traveler book or something. It'll find another home. This is going on the shelf of glory. This is freaking awesome. I could show you guys every page of this. How much is this, Kenan? If a fella or fellette, gamers from all walks watch this show. If a fella or fellette wanted a copy of this, Kenan or John, whichever one of you guys wants to respond, what's this going to set them back? Because I am just in love with this. And there's some original stuff in here. $29.99 hardcover, which is as you should have art books, by the way. I firmly believe that most good art books should be hardcover because it affords them the laying open. I have a great collection of Soriyama books here. Hardcover Soriyama books cost as much as a freaking house payment, or 2 or 3, depending. But it means they're basically like, if you try and open them all the way so you can see all the details, you know what I'm talking about if you've seen Hajame's work. You can hear that glue crack and snap. And all you can do is picture the book in 20 years falling out into loose pages. Kenan has coloring books too. Ice Devil. Look at this guy about to try and go full ham on a paladin. He knows what's coming. But I love that this is hardback. I love it. And I told Kenan, and I firmly believe this because I mean this as a compliment. Kenan, right now is your chance to say, don't say that about my work. I don't agree with you. This is, and I mean this as a compliment. This is very reminiscent of Dave Trampier's artwork. It has that same coarseness of line that makes you feel like you can run your fingers down the page and feel the bumps and the warts and the curves and all that sort of thing. I'm not saying I would do it on the Merilith page if that was possible, just that it might happen. And that makes it really, 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 really extra awesome. I love his artwork. There's a moral, and he's got original stuff in here. This is not just, hey, I copied stuff out of the monster manual. He's got his own original designs going on in here. And I'm here for it. An Ulmarian. I'm loving that guy. Wormhead. Is anyone else experiencing a slight? So I am seeing over here in the window that I have a moderate speed connection, and I don't know why that is. It is almost certainly because of StreamYard, because I have a 500 megabit up and down fiber connection. And we have a phase panther. Just want to point that out. That is a phase panther, not any kind of intellectual property that belongs to anyone else, but a phase panther. I'm just picking stuff at random here. It's beginning to look a lot like Fishman. Kenan's Goblin. Wonderful Wizard of Games says, hot damn, I'm not missing a Monday stream. I'm glad you're here. Laura Vax you or Laura Vax ooh. Yeah, I can't do anything about the audio video sync, guys. Sorry. Teratashia. And again, I'm not going to go item by item here, looking at all of these. I bet they could too, Yang. I bet if they looked around. Biblically accurate greater angel. Oh, that like spookily matches up with my with where my head is. Be not afraid. Yeah, Kenan, this is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. This is absolutely great. And I think it was who was it? Was it Clark? Was it JP Got Rockets? I don't remember. One of you fine people said this is what we call a game adjacent book. And I dig it, dude. And it is autographed. So thank you, Kenan. This is $29.99 right now on Amazon. Someone said it's on Prime. I don't know. I don't know what the price is, but this is wonderful, and I really could not be happier with this work, sir. This is this is just an amazing book. Gelatinous cube. I'm okay. I gotta put it down. I gotta put it down, or else I'm gonna go through page by page. Then somebody's gonna be able to freeze frame, zoom in, enhance, clean up, and then they've got to copy the book. I want them to give you money for this. This is worth your money. It's got this lovely oh my. Well, we have a succubus on the back. But I'm not going to spoil it. You guys are going to have to go buy it. We are going to have Kenan and John on to talk about the game soon. Let me put that in promising air quotes, soon. Because I am getting busy. Not to be confused with getting busy. Because I have a trip coming up to southern central Wisconsin here in just a matter of a couple of weeks. Let's see. Today is the 7th. So yeah, in 16 days, little less than 2 weeks, I'm going to be up at EggCon in lovely Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. I will be up there from the 24th through the 28th through the 29th. I'll have to double check. I will be at EggCon. I will be running games. I will be game mastering their tournament. Not like the only game master. I will be one of their tournament game masters. I will be running a game session of my own. And I'll be hanging out. I'm very approachable like that. And I've said before, if you guys have anything that I've written, whether it is the Lost Crypt, whether you have printed out stuff that I have offered up in PDF, or whether it is Elemental Moon with Lance Hovermail that I wrote as Andy Luke Crossness, which is an anagram of Sean Reynolds Sucks, then by all means, If you want an autograph on it, stop by and I will deface your book and no doubt completely remove any collectability value from it. I will gladly and happily do that for you. And I will have more to talk about as we get there. Next week, I have Yang Zhao coming. I don't know why I said it like that. I have Yang Zhao coming on next week, and we're going to talk about something. A little, little chit chat, little miscellaneous. How you doing, Yang? Kind of talk going on next week. But for this week, other than hanging out with me tonight and answering any and all of your pressing classic TTRPG questions, which I live to answer for you guys. Tomorrow night, we're going to be playing first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons for your education and entertainment, your edutainment, if you will. That's going to be a lot of fun. And if you're new to the show, give them a clue. Well, closer we'll get a clue. But anyway, if you're new to the show, and odds are you aren't, because I've lost subscribers this week. Your basic gameplay session on Twitch, here on YouTube, what have you, goes something like this. You tune in, you sit there, you watch people having fun. You maybe chit chat, pitter patter with the people in the live chat, and then you're done, right? Not all of them, just most of them, 90% of them. Let me tell you how we do things around here. Here, I want you guys to learn. I want you guys to grow. I want you guys to understand what it is we do when we play first edition AD&D and how we play first edition AD&D and how you can play first edition AD&D if that is something that you want to do. So to that end, as you are watching, I need to put this down before I get it all grubby with my grubby hands. As you are watching, I want you to feel free to ask me questions in the live chat. If I don't answer them, someone in the game group might answer them. And if nobody in the game group answers them and I don't answer them, somebody else in the chat may answer your question, because I have the smartest and the best looking live stream audience of any 5-night a week classic TTRPG show on YouTube. And I'll kill on that hill. That's the way we do it, guys. It's interactive. Okay. It's not just passive entertainment. And I'll tell you something else. I'll tell you a little something else about what we do on Tuesday evenings. Look, we don't have table reads. We don't have a script. We don't have script writing sessions. We don't do seasonal story arcs. We don't follow character development. The characters develop as they get XP and you watch them level up. That is how we play first edition AD&D around here. It's not rehearsed. It's not preordained. The dice tell you what happens because they tell me what happens. We could start playing tomorrow night, and 10 minutes in, you're watching us roll characters. To a point, then they get better based on their treasure alliances in the game world. Yeah, very true. So to that end, it is an actual play of first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Sometimes, see if this will work. No, that one's not gonna. Sometimes we even have terrain in miniatures, as you guys saw right there. If that's something, if that looks like something that you're interested in doing, watching, tune in tomorrow night. Hang out with us. Ask questions. It's a very chill scene, man. I think you'll have a lot of fun. And then on Wednesday night, because everybody's got to relax, right? Everybody's got to put their feet up. Everybody's got to just let somebody else drive for a few miles when you're heading down that endless highway. Wednesday night, if he's available, my co-host, Kyle the Viking Hat GM, he steps in, and I look at him and I say, your aircraft. My aircraft. See, I do that because he's Australian. And then he'll run us through D&D, Traveler, or maybe something of his own creation. We're currently working through a minimalist RPG that he's been noodling around with called Yes, But. That's been a lot of fun. Post-apocalypse, zombie, maybe. Who knows? And then on Thursday, like I said, Thursday is open. We have guests. We do deep dives. We have fun. Sometimes it's Q&A. Friday, you know that thing I said with D&D? That, but Control F, D&D, Control R, Gamma World, all. Which is to say, we do an actual play of Gamma World on Friday evenings. And then Saturdays, I don't do shit because it's Saturday. You guys go find something else to do. And then we start the whole thing over again on Monday. It's 5 nights a week, guys. Tune in, click the subscribe button, click the bell icon for notifications. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're watching this video after, leave a comment down below. Just say hi. Somebody, is it Christopher Sims? I can't remember. Chris, if you're out there, hello, has been responding to every video and bumping them up in the algorithm. There is a response on the oldest of videos. I think he just has a macro or something he set up to do that. And I appreciate it. I absolutely appreciate it. So we have some fun with, and I hope you guys will come along for the ride and subscribe and have fun with us. And tell your friends to subscribe. Because, guys, I'm going to tell you something. I love first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. You know, people do that. Ooh, if you were on a desert island and you can only bring one RPG book, a print-on-demand omnibus that has a player's handbook, monster manual, and dungeon master's guide in it. That's what I'd want. And if it can only be something that currently exists, the dungeon master's guide. I can sort the rest out in my head. It's got an adventure in it. It's got monsters in it. It's got all the combat rules in it. I can more or less work out how XP levels are sorted. Not an OSR game. Not the Osric rulebook. And I say this as someone whose name is in the Osric rulebook. I just want to be 100% crystal clear when I say that. What I would want is a first edition AD&D Dungeon Master's Guide. If I could only have one RPG book. I love first edition AD&D, and I love sharing first edition AD&D. If I'm on a deserted island, it's not deserted anymore. You're absolutely right, JP Got Rockets. Then it's a populated island. How about an uncharted island? And don't say that by dint of being there, it's charted, because I'm no cartographer, and I might just wash up there in a life raft with no idea of how I got there except currents. Funny, I'd mentioned it's good stuff when he is your favorite and the inspiration for Cresthaven. I'm actually knocking around an omnibus. Funny, I'd mentioned that. Oh, very cool, AJ. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, a 3-hour tour, Wolfman Jack. Let me talk to you guys about the mid-far future here on the show. I find the older I get, it's charted. Oh, I like that. Great old ones. I like that a lot. You know what? I should put this up because this is important for what I'm going to say. What is going on? Why? That's how that should have been. I'm so discombobulated from all the nonsense last week. Anyway, I want to the older I get, the more I realize that this is the time of year to start thinking about Christmas, what you're going to do, who you're going to see. It's not in December. December 2nd, if you're not locked in, baby, you're done. You're toast. This is the time to think about Christmas. Last year, we had a Christmas giveaway. Once a week, every week for the month of December, I gave away a gift. It was an example of this dragon right here in a box. It was a mini Pac-Man machine, again, in a box, brand new. It was a cookbook. It was the Dungeons and Dragons cookbook. And what was the other thing? D&D cookbook, dragon, a Mobile Suit Gundam model. I'm gonna have a giveaway this year. I'm gonna do it a little differently. I would like to open this contest up to those of you who are members on YouTube or Patreons. That is who it will be open to. We will have one drawing. If you're not there for it, what I'm going to be giving away will be a once in a lifetime opportunity to win. You could buy this dragon, the Mobile Suit Gundam model I gave, that Pac-Man machine, and the cookbook. You could have just said, I didn't win them. Well, I guess I'll just go buy them. I'll give myself my own Christmas presents. Would have been fine. What I've got coming this year, which I'm not going to tell you what it is. No, it's not a garage sale. Well, by dint of it, my studio being in a garage, kind of. If for the price of as little as $2.99 as a YouTube member or $1 as a patron for a few months, when you see what I've got to offer, if you're like, I ain't doing that, and you see what I gave away, you're probably going to regret it, at least for not having the chance. Who doesn't play the lottery when it's like over a couple of $1 billion, right? Even sensible, rational people who know they've got like a 1 in 600 million chance of winning the thing will go out and buy a handful of quick picks. You're gonna want to be part of what's coming in December. I've got to start getting it ready now. It's a big project. You're going to want to be part of this. It is a once in a lifetime thing. I won't do it again. I won't say, oh yeah, I've decided to revisit this. I literally, things have fallen, the pachinko balls have drizzled down. Into my hands to make this happen. And it's my way of having an opportunity to have somebody win something that is cool beyond cool. So think about it. Patron or YouTube member, that gets you in the door, that buys your ticket. And although it's 4 items, we will be doing all 4 drawings on Christmas night, me and Mrs. the Dungeon Delver. We will have 4 drawings Christmas night on the live stream. Gonzalo says, if you don't win, then you want me to win because what I do with the money will be national news. There you go. Gonzalo will finally have to pay that. If I won it, I would probably in my new house just rebuild this like exactly precisely in my hobby room. I wouldn't say a thing. I wouldn't say a single thing. You might see little things around me and be like, huh, wait a minute. There'd be little tells. A lifetime supply of spatulas from Spatula City. One of the prizes is the Necronomicon. You can buy the Necronomicon on Amazon, so no. I wish it was a lifetime supply of spatulas, Michael. My pockets are not that deep. But I got to get cracking on this. Because I want you guys to have I want whoever wins this to like wake up in the morning and look at it and go, holy crap, I can't believe I have this. That's the way you do it, Gonzalo. I would kind of do something. I would do something similar. I would probably, buy the new mini fridge. For you, Daniel, yes, it is. I would probably go through my subdivision, just knocking on people's doors and say, "Hey, bring your bank record out. Let's just wipe out your mortgage right now. Let's just be done with that. Just bring that out. Let's call up your mortgage broker and I'll give him my car and then you'll be done." And then just house after house after house. The people renting, I couldn't do anything about that. But so I saw this just last night on YouTube. I don't know if it was a YouTube short or whatever. And I've been looking to try and find it again. But there's a dude who got his hands on a new in box, like what do they call it? New old stock, new in box refrigerator made in the late 1950s. Like everything on it was pristine. He didn't have it remanufactured. He didn't find it in a scrapyard somewhere. And guys, I'm here to tell you, we have lost so much. You know how you got your fridge shelves? This thing, all the fridge shelves are hinged on the left. You open the door, it opens out to the right, and you can pull the shelf. The shelves rotate 90 degrees out, and you put your stuff on them and then rotate them back in. And the bottom now doesn't have a crisper, but the bottom shelves are two lazy Susans that rotate 360 degrees. How cool is that? Why are we not making refrigerators like that anymore? Why are we not doing that? That is too cool. No pun intended. I suppose you'd have to have it reworked for modern refrigerants, though, because that is almost certainly a Freon-based refrigerator. And if it ever needs a recharge, and given that it's 70 plus years old, it almost certainly does at this point, you're going to have to put R134 in it. Now, I was watching one of the car resto videos. Apparently, while a can of R134 is stupid expensive, there's a kit you can get that will puncture and drain dust blower air, which is the same propellant. It's like this special clamp you clamp onto the cans, and it drains it into your air conditioner compressor for your car. I didn't know that was a thing. But anyway, so in the time we have left, who's got any AD&D questions for me? I know you've got something on your minds. I can sense it through the screen. The fridge that Indiana Jones. Yeah, no, I don't think it's that fridge. This was convenient. A refrigerator from a corner apartment in New York in 1985. Zool. Oh my gosh. So yes, any questions, any comments, any criticisms, any negative, nasty remarks as we come towards, not at, but towards the conclusion of our broadcast day. Question, grappling. Yes, Clark Witten. Does Crom crash for you when you say no when it asks you to create a new character? No. When I go back to the main menu, it does not crash for me. Now, it will generate an exception, but then it will close. That's what it's supposed to do. Yeah, that's different, JP. Let me show you, Gonzalo, what I mean here. Clark, what is your grappling question? And what Gonzalo is talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is Crom. And Crom is the character record organizational manager program. And Crom is an absolutely essential tool. It is an absolutely essential tool. It is, without a doubt, the premier, the most feature-rich, first edition compliant character generation software you will ever use. I will absolutely 100% guarantee it does nothing that any other program does. All right. So let's troubleshoot this live. And see if we can figure this out. So here we are. This is Crom, Character Record Organization Manager. Available for your Windows PC, $25, care of this email address, bsylvie@gmail.com. So let's create a character. Let's use method 3. Let's make him a dwarf, because why not? Male. Oh, good stat. Oh, good Lord. Look at that. Look at these stats. Strength 16, intelligence 16, wisdom 16, dexterity 16, constitution 16, charisma 11, which is fine for a dwarf. Good Lord. Let's make a fighter here. Let's see. I almost feel it feels like a shame wasting this. All right. So melee weapons, we're going to do battle axe. We're going to do warhammer. We're going to do a broadsword. And we're going to do a short sword. Would we like to shop for stuff? Yes, we would. We have 130 gold. Let's buy some chainmail. Let's buy some weapons. Let's be done in that category. Let's buy some weapons. Let's buy some melee weapons. Let's get that battle axe. Let's get that hammer. Let's get that broadsword. Let's get that short sword. And now we're done. So we're going to go back. We're going to save this character. We're going to be done. Are you sure? Yes. Check for psionics. He's a dwarf. Of course not. He's lawful good, as a good dwarf should be. We're going to call him dwarf. We're going to save it as a text file. Dwarf. Would you like to create another character? No. Now, you saw very briefly on screen, it said error, and then it closed. That is a console error in the program. It is not an error like a bad crash, like, oh no, something bad happened. That is literally just how the compiled program handles an escape code. And Gonzalo asks another good question here. On Crom, it says that dwarves are not limited. That is correct. With the exception of half-orcs, all demi-humans can level unlimited as thieves. Clark Witten asks about grappling. Now, if you have a question, if you have a deep question, and you can't get a hold of me, I'm not streaming, whatever, although I'm usually fairly accessible. The Player's Handbook, the first edition AD&D Player's Handbook, is a great user manual for Crom. I'm not being snarky. I'm not being a smartass. That, trust me, it clarifies a lot of stuff that the program seems to. You're like, wait a minute, I don't remember that working that way. That was my programming guide, and that is your user manual, is the Player's Handbook. Thieving dwarves know no limits. That's right. That's right. You should know, you got 2 in your house. How many times have they made bags of chips disappear, DM? All right, so grappling. Grappling is fairly simple, I find. So let's go to page 73 and see if we can answer Clark's question. Again, I apologize for sounding like what's his name from Vox News. The grappling rules are supposed to be simple. We asked the Biden administration. Here's what we found out. All right, 73. 73. Okay. You're the chip thief. Okay. I don't know how tall you are or not, Dungeon Minister, so I don't know if the dwarf comment holds to you. Maybe you're a dwarf titan. All right, here we go. Grapple. This attack is aimed at holding the opponent and rendering him or her helpless. Sustained is 25% actual and 75% incidental, which is restored at 1 hit point per round. So you're not going to kill them unless you bring them to -3 or lower. As in pummeling attacks, a score of 0 equals unconsciousness. 1 round plus 1 round for each point minus damage sustained. Base score to grapple. Multiply attacker's armor class by 10. All right. Let's say you're grabbing someone who is not armored, just some guy in the street. You're just like, blah! Their armor class 10. Your base score is 100. Ignoring all magical devices, bracers, rings, cloaks, etc., but adding 1 for each +1 of magical armor to find a percentage chance from 100 to 0. The attacker cannot grapple if either or both hands are holding anything. What is my favorite spell combinations to inflict challenge players? Web plus burning hands. That's always a fun one. Sleep plus magic missile. I wish I could say enlarge plus dome wall of force, but a spell can't get through wall of force. But wall of force is just great. Just yeah. I'm putting you in the timeout bubble. Blop. Ooh, slow plus cloud kill. Anyway, so attacker's point per attacker's dexterity per point. So the person is not wearing armor, so their armor class 10. So our chance is 100%. Your dexterity, let's say, is 14. That's 114%. They're not slowed or stunned. Now, their base movement is 3 inches or faster. If they're not armored and they're relatively healthy, their base movement is 12 inches. So now they're 112 minus 40. So that becomes 72. 72% chance. So you have a 72% chance of grappling them. In each round of grappling, there will be an attack and counterattack. Any existing hold goes first until broken. Once it is determined that a grappling attack succeeds, the percentile dice must be rolled again to find what hold is gained. So we roll our dice. Let's say we get a 63. We've already determined that dexterity per point, that's 14. So 63 and 14 is 73, 77. Attacker's strength per point, well, let's say it's 10, 87. Opponent is not slowed, stunned, nor helpless. We're not going to get into weight differences. We're just going to say that we're about the same weight. Opponent dexterity per point over 14. Doesn't have a dexterity over 14. So we're holding at 87. Opponent strength per point over 12. Let's say he's got strength 15. 87 becomes 84. He doesn't have exceptional strength, obvious, and he's not wearing any armor. 84. Our total is 84. Headlock, flip, or throw. Damage, 5 plus strength bonus. We don't have a strength bonus, so we just did 5 points of damage. Simple, easy peasy. And they get a counterattack. And it just goes back and forth like that. It's really simple. I hope that answers your question. Charm person just by itself is always fun. People get like today, I should say, people get weird about charm person spells. They bring up consent and that sort of thing. But then I've heard of modern players who claim that it is a violation of consent to kill their characters. And I don't agree with it. Hey, Are the Horrible, good to see you. So it's really a simple and intuitive system, grappling is. People make a big deal about it, and I think it is because of the weight differences. Otherwise, it's really, really simple. It is really not that hard to figure out. Pummeling and overbearing isn't either. The thing you have to remember is pummeling, grappling, and overbearing are all different things. You do not pummel grapple to overbear somebody. I'm not taking him seriously, Gonzalo. Absolutely not. I never took those people seriously. You're quite welcome, Clark. And remember, that is a 10% weight difference and 10% height difference. If you're talking like dwarf versus halfling, halfling versus gnome, even gnome versus dwarf, elf or half orc versus human, or any of them versus each other, there's not a significant difference. And there's not going to be a significant weight difference. Unless you describe a character as being huge and obese, or another character as being rail thin, and then you as a DM probably have something specific in mind. Now, as far as pummeling and overbearing monsters, your party's likely only going to be doing this to creatures their size or smaller. So once you figured out what it is against gnomes, halflings, or dwarves, you know what it's going to be: goblins, kobolds, and zvarts, and so on and etc. But the tarts of pop, yes. Dungeon Minister, Pop Tarts, toasted or raw? I think they're better raw. I just I don't like I don't have to have them warm. And absolutely frosted. Unfrosted Pop Tarts are just like, why? It's like MRE jelly spread between pasteboard at that point. Toasted right. Yeah, I mean, if somebody puts a couple of Pop Tarts in the toaster and is like, "Oh, I hope you like them toast," I'm like, "Sure, yeah, I'll make it work." But conversely, if they say, "Hey, there's Pop Tarts," I'm not going to waste my time with the toaster. See, Pop Tarts that are that kind of sweet, like fudge. I like fudge Pop Tarts, but like blueberry Pop Tarts, strawberry Pop Tarts, raspberry Pop Tarts, I like those way more than you get into like the cinnamon sugar and s'mores Pop Tarts and that sort of thing. The break point for me is chocolate fudge Pop Tarts. I like those, but the cinnamon and sugar Pop Tarts are too sweet for me. But anyway, you have to remember, like, hey, I'm gonna go grapple that ogre. You start under the assumption that unless they're wearing gauntlets of ogre power, or they're naturally 18 by 100, or they're wearing a girdle of giant strength. No, they're not. And even if they have those, the height and weight disparity is still going to play against them. Paul could grapple an ogre, and I would play that out in the game just to show people how grappling could work. Because Paul's 1894, 1897, something obscene like that. Thank you, Crum. 1897, yeah. I have vague recollections of that, Robert. Yeah, exactly, Daniel. Exactly. But the pummeling, grappling, and overbearing are not illogical or hard to figure out. They're just slow. They're just slow. A buddy of mine once had do you guys remember when like Jones Soda would do like their Thanksgiving soda 6-pack, and it was like a pumpkin pie and a cranberry sauce, but there was also like weird savory stuff in there. Hey, David Mills, good to see you. We have 201 people watching. Well, 201 people have looked at the video. It's more like there's 17 people watching, and 184 have flipped by it on X. Yeah, there's no unarmed combat at all in Back Me, which I think is weird. I want to punch that guy. You can't. You got a sword? No. Does he have a sword? Any convenient sticks or rocks? Nope. You just kind of stare hatefully at each other. Roll initiative. You do it again for the next round. There is just not in the basic, but fair enough. That's fair. I just I don't know. I have personal problems with Frank Mincer. Now, I mean, if you're like, hey, what about Rule Cyclopedia? I, I guess that book is so dry and uninteresting. Now, Mulvey Basic and Expert, that's pretty cool. And I really like, of course, Holmes Introductory. By the time it's introduced, it's introduced in companion by the time which I mean at that point that's like 50th level character rules or something insane like that. So any more questions at all? Any comments, criticisms, negative, nasty remarks? I think Dungeon Minister is probably actively unsubscribing to me right now, due to my anti-Back Me polemic there. So we will be back tomorrow night, 9:00, not 6:30, certainly not 6:00. We will be back tomorrow at 9 p.m. And we are going to talk about nothing, because we're going to be playing first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons for your continued amusement. As for me, when I get done with this live stream, I've got to clean out from around my washing machine because it broke today. Why do you keep testing me, Lord? Anyway, so that's going to about do it for me, everybody. I will see you all on the flip side. Thank you again to Ken and James for Monsters. Go get this. Go get yourself a copy. It is full of really kick-ass art. Kenan will be on the show soon. We are going to arrange something for Kenan to be here, and we'll see if John wants to stop by. But until tomorrow night, everybody, you know what? We may not have any introductory music anymore. but at least for the foreseeable future, until or unless Bob Antone puts Owlbear into the content management system, we still have it. So good night, everybody, and I love you all. Oh, and thank you very much to Atomic FX and Doc Flamingo for the supers. I really appreciate it. Peace. Good night.
Have you seen my Owlbear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere, in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my Owlbear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around, some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle, way off course? Naked as a toad, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.